Hello everybody, welcome in. It's Laura from Tenacious Taurus Twin Flame Tarot. And this is going to be the weekly forecast for the Twin Flame Collective for the week ahead. As you can tell, I'm losing my voice. This happens every winter, it seems. And so I'm not sure how busy I will be with videos this week. I'm going to do my best, but at the same time, I do have several clients booked that I've had to reschedule from taking last week off because we were all really sick with that nasty influenza virus. And so welcome into a brand new week of cosmic energies. We do still have Mars continuing its retrograde period, and it is forming an opposition this week with Mercury along with Venus. So I do think a lot of triggering issues are coming up, especially when it comes to where we've felt constrained in a karmic connection. I also feel any past disappointments are also coming up for another layer of purification, especially when it comes to any rejection wounds. And I also feel there's this pressure cooker energy for many of the Divine Masculine Collective. And so I do feel a lot of the masculines are in for a week of considerable tension. And I do feel this is the week where they are being asked to say farewell to that karmic connection once and for all. And so with Mars in retrograde in Gemini, I do feel this is a time of deep recalibration within the masculine collective as a whole. And so this is where we release these old, outdated, programmed beliefs, especially when it comes to these karmic timelines. And so I do feel things are still getting shaken up to the core when it comes to these karmic cycles, especially within the masculine collective who are going through a major purging of any old toxins. And so there's likely going to be flare-ups when it comes to these old issues, and it's likely going to be a week filled with a lot of conflicting energies. And so you're going to want to take whatever is happening at face value, because when it comes to this deep-seated purge, anything we're meant to release is being asked to be removed from our lives. And so we can't keep acting out these karmic relationship cycles. We have some Saturn energy coming forward, so this is going to cause a lot of problems for the masculine right now. A lot of karmic energy coming up around the Divine Masculine when it comes to this running energy. They cannot keep running from facing that divine mirror. And so the feminines, I feel, are being asked to stay rooted in the present moment. And I know for myself, there was a lot of past trauma that came up over the last week for resolution, especially in the spiritual planes. And so ultimately, we do need to remember life is not meant to be this struggle. This twin flame journey is not meant to be a struggle. It is this process of ascension where it comes to purging whatever's happened in the past so we can clear any blocks when it comes to being able to receiving love. And so we are being prepared at the soul level to open up to this reunion energy is what I'm feeling. And we do need to remember this is what we came here for. And so for myself, another spiral of deep-seated anger and hate towards all men in general. I'm actually at my breaking point when it comes to men in general. I'm to the point where I feel like anything a man can do for me, I've done it for myself. I provide a home for myself. I don't need a man to provide money for me. Anything I need, I give to myself. And so why would I even want a man in my life when all they're doing is giving me breadcrumbs anyways? I've made a decision to completely end that recent relationship that I've kind of been in for the last couple of months. I'm just so tired of these breadcrumbs. And so unconditional love does not equal unconditional tolerance of shitty ass behavior from the other person. And so I do feel we're divinely being guided to release all of these misconceptions. A lot of these masculines are so distorted in their human ego. They don't even know how to love themselves. And so how can they be there romantically for another person? And so I do feel a lot of the feminines are choosing to just be celibate, to anchor into self-love, and to enjoy the connection with their self is kind of what I feel coming through this week. And so a lot of us have such a difficult time when it comes to clearing all of these negative cycles. And so we keep staying stuck in these repeating cycles of struggle. And that's what last week was for me, a roller coaster of struggle. And it was an eye-opener for me too, as to just how much I was being breadcrumbed in that most recent relationship. And so I'm all done with struggling. I'm all done with this roller coaster of thinking that this is just what I've been dealt. I'm done sitting here allowing myself to be undervalued. And so I do feel there's a lot of problems coming up when it comes to opposition this week. I do feel, you know, a lot of the feminines have been doing this inner work and we don't see the difference in our outer world. And so it does create a lot of frustration, is what I want to say. And so personally, I know I've just been really upset at myself for what I've tolerated in my life up until now. And so most of all, what I've even tolerated from the masculine counterpart. And so I do feel this is a time where the masculine is needing to digest a lot of upsetting upheaval in order to purge all of these old karmic relationships. And I do feel all of these conflicting energies are creating this deep-seated feeling of distance between the twin flames. I feel completely disconnected. I don't care what that person does with his life anymore. He can stay in that karmic relationship until the day he dies. I really don't care. The way I see it is that's the path he chose. That's the bed you chose to sleep in, so you can sleep in that bed of nails, because I'm all done delaying my personal freedom by feeling tied down in this connection that's been unreciprocated. And so I do feel a lot of the masculines are being shown where these inner issues do need to be healed, where they feel that a feminine should constantly chase them and give them all of this attention. We as a society, as a collective, have this so very backwards. The masculine is the one to pursue. The masculine is the one to take charge. The masculine is the one that is supposed to be the counterpart that shows up for the feminine. You give the feminine something and she will grow it, guaranteed. But the masculines have not been showing up. They've not been giving anything to the counterpart. And so they have to learn to love themselves, is what I'm feeling. Otherwise, there's always going to be these issues in that mirror. And so I do feel in order to heal and move on into a state of harmony, we do have to fully release and accept that the masculines just are not embracing these positive developments at this time. And so I do feel change is coming for sure as the feminine steps into a space of trusting herself, doing things for her benefit and releasing all of these old perspectives. I know for myself, you know, I look at my life and it's not been that great to me. I have been abused, used. I've had to go bankrupt from a man swindling me, a con artist. And so I really don't have a lot of faith in the masculine collective as a whole right now. And I don't want you to take that on as your own energy. That's kind of where I'm at. And I feel I've been the responsible one. I've been the loyal one, the one that constantly shows up and puts an effort into this connection. And I'm starting to realize how very karmic that has been. It's been karmic. I'm here to clear that karma. I'm all done bearing the burdens of the masculine, is what I'm feeling. I'm all done carrying the weight of his distortion, his lack of accountability, his lack of responsibility. And in order for me to reach resolution on my own journey, I have to let this person go, because I'm here to manifest my desires. And everything that this man has shown me is nothing that I desire in my life. And so eventually, if you want all of your desires to come in, you have to be willing to release this connection. Because the masculines are not reaching out. They're really not putting in any effort at all. And so all they're doing is taking up space when it comes to us taking those right action steps to get where we need to go. And so I do feel words can be very cutting this week. There's a lot of choice words I like to throw towards my masculine, which I'm not going to. We don't have any communication. If we did, I would have a whole lot of nasty things to say to that person. And I do feel any words that you have spoken to your masculine in the past when it comes to calling out their piss poor behavior really are cutting them to the core this week. I do feel this is going to be a week filled with roller coaster ups and downs. And the downs are trying to show us what we need to release to move forward. And so with this opposition between Mercury and Mars retrograde, it's a higher energy of conflict for the week ahead. So you do want to stay aware of your own perspective this week. And so I do feel it's going to be so easy to lash out. Trust me, I wanted to call my divine masculine every name in the book. I was taken back to years ago when I saw him for the first time in passing by with my children in the car, and he was with the Karmic, and I remember the words my daughter Kenzie used was, "Look at that punk ass bitch." And that's where I feel this punk ass bitch. He's been a little bitch, lied to everybody, denied the connection, has left a trail of damage everywhere he's gone, punked everybody. And, you know, eventually those regrets do come back to bite people in the butt. And so I feel with all of these Sagittarius energies, it's very fiery. It's the energy of speaking and acting first and not really thinking about the damage that's going to be caused. And so I do feel we do need to be aware of ourselves, because this pushing, pulling energy is another indication of huge frustrations. I know for myself, I've been so very frustrated because I feel like it doesn't matter what I try to do to keep moving forward. I keep being hit with these obstacles and these challenges. And it's like I can feel another forced break coming on with me losing my voice. And so probably losing my voice so I don't lash out at people this week. I have a Mercury in Aries, and I can fire off all kinds of nasty words with my tongue. And so we really want to be mindful when it comes to anything around communication this week. Sometimes it's just better to shut your mouth and not say anything at all, because pushing the issue isn't going to fix anything. It's just going to create more argument, more stagnation, and more separation. And so really take a look at what it is you've been dealing with on the journey this week. Try to find a solution to flow around all of these blocks to keep moving forward is a message I feel we all need to be aware of. I do feel with Mars and Venus in opposition, jealousy and possessiveness is really going to be an issue brought up in the karmic soul contracts this week. You know, jealousy, possessiveness, you can't control another. You can't really control another. So to be possessive and to be jealous of somebody's choices really is a wasted time, a wasted energy. We're likely going to find a lot of people being very argumentative this week, especially in the karmic contracts. I do feel a lot of the karmics are very jealous of the feminine. They feel very possessive over the masculine. And I do feel there's going to be a lot of arguing in those contracts this week. And small issues are going to be made into great big issues is what I'm feeling. But this is where we release, right? And so all of this opposition and this tension is coming forward in order to get the masculine to look within at all of these negative childhood patterns that he keeps repeating in these toxic relationships with women. Or maybe you will be looking at these issues as well, Divine Feminine, but there's always a gift in a breakdown, right? You get to see what you've been hiding behind. What's behind that mask? Why are you so afraid of breaking free from surface level relationships? Because if we can break free from that surface level, if we can get clear about what it is we want, then we can open up to calling in that right union with another. But I do feel a week of channeling a lot of heavy energies, a lot of ego battles coming up this week is kind of what I'm feeling. And so you're really going to want to lean into trusting yourself, Divine Feminine, because I know many of us have been feeling very disconnected spiritually on some level recently. A lot of us feel like we're not really receiving those telepathic insights like we've been used to receiving. There's this huge disconnect with the counterpart and their higher self. And I feel this is for the masculine to learn this hefty cosmic karmic lesson. And this is also for the feminine to start trusting in your own inner counsel more. And so when we go within and we tap into our own intuitive guidance, rather than constantly seeking information outwardly or predictions from others all the time, that's when we can simply be with ourselves and feel into our own blocks, where we have been getting into our own way when it comes to moving forward. And so it's a week of resolving when it comes to doubting your own intuition, Divine Feminine. And I do feel right now everything is feeling very much impossible. And so I do feel, you know, we do have Neptune about to go direct. And so all of this foggy retrograde energy is going to be suddenly released, I feel. And so it's going to be easy to really take stock of what we've learned throughout these outer planet retrograde energies, and to take stock of where we're still playing into victimhood energies. We are not a victim of our circumstances, but I feel this lingering juju, this lingering bad juju, and all of these feelings of not knowing what lies ahead really are bringing up these deep-seated feelings of powerlessness and victim mentality. And where we need to release all of the anger and bitterness of where we have been mistreated. And especially when we look at how bad the state of the world is right now, it is looking a little bit hopeless, right? And so it doesn't help us to focus on these feelings of hopelessness, victim mentality, or focusing on the negative state of the world right now. It really doesn't help us in resolving all of this negative karma. And so this week is a week of taking a step back, taking a deep breath, dealing with any of your own underlying toxic relationship patterns from childhood. Journal about what's going on, I think, and get grounded. This is really a good week of finding your self-creative expression. And so focusing on your body, your mind, your health, because I do feel the energies have been feeling very ungrounded. And so when you feel into your own soul, when you feel into your own intuition, and you ground into your own energy, that's when we can find this inner space of peace, of feeling safe. Because there's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of disorientation going on collectively. And when we go into that collective energy and we absorb it as ours, it can really lead us into this process of feeling very insecure with where we're at in our own lives. If things aren't going well, then you might spiral into feeling about what you're missing out on. I spent a lot of tears. I shed a lot of tears this week, and I was pulling out all the Christmas decorations. I was just so angry. I looked at the entirety of my parenting journey, and my oldest daughter is going to be 12 on Wednesday. I've been doing this alone for almost 13 years, since my oldest daughter was in my tummy at 6 weeks pregnant. I've pretty much been doing this alone for 12 years. It's discouraging, and I've been facing all kinds of challenges and disadvantages on my parenting journey. And then throw the twin flame crap in here, and looking back, and I'm thinking, like, I've been on this journey since right before my 38th birthday. I'm going to be 43 next April, and I'm just at my breaking point is what I'm feeling. And so this is where we learn to deepen our relationship with ourselves, because when it comes to this union is coming. It ultimately is a union with God's source energy. This person is just a reflection of the love that you have for yourself. And so what I want to say is, remember what you are capable of. Remember how strong you truly are. Remember that you chose here to learn these lessons, and that you've got this, Divine Feminine. So let's jump in with a few cards before I lose my voice. I'm hoping I'll have enough voice to do a daily message. I had a girlfriend stop by on the weekend, my girlfriend, and she's journeyed this twin flame journey with me from the very beginning. And I love her to pieces. I'm going to call her my knight in shining armor. You know who you are, girl. Anyway, and she lent me the Sacred Forest Oracle deck. So we're going to pull in with this deck today to get a few messages. 52 cards to open up energy portals of a higher dimension by Denise Lynn. I have several decks by Denise Lynn, actually, and I do love her work. They're beautiful cards. Absolutely beautiful cards. Just the feel of them as well. And so there's that uncertainty, right? There's that uncertainty. And bottom of the deck, we do have purification. So I'm going to do just general messages. I'm not breaking it down to masculine and feminine today. We're going to see what the main energies are coming through for the Twin Flame Collective for the week ahead. That's interesting. I just saw 2020. And so right now is a time of retreating. Look at that. It looks like a little winter wonderland, right? So I do feel a lot of the masculines are in like this snow globe energy, and things are about to get shaken up for them in order for them to retreat. And it is in this retreating energy that we can go through this period of expansion. And so winter usually is a time where many go into a state of depression. I know the holidays can be a hard time for many that have crossed over loved ones or are alone. But I feel in this retreating energy of winter, this is where we plant those seeds for that harvest on the other side of this energy. And so you're really going to want to just be still with yourself and to flow through whatever energies are coming through, because there is a lot of uncertainty right now. There's a lot of uncertainty as to what the path forward is going to be. It's the energy of, are we out of the woods yet? So I do feel there's magic in this energy of needing to retreat. And so it's feeling very cold, very detached. But ultimately, we are reaching a level of completion, of self-mastery. And so stillness is really what is going to be required in order to go through this expansion. Look at that. I didn't even realize there was still a card in there. So that flipped out for a reason. Activation. So we are in the precipice of receiving all of these new light code activations. And so we do need time to retreat. Interesting. I was going to pull the book out to read into stillness, but my guides are saying, no, we're going to read into this activation energy, which is a 36 card, breaking down to a 9. And the expansion is a 37, so progression. So activation. The time is now for the masculine to take action. I do feel a lot of these masculines are losing the feminine permanently. And they've been so hesitant. They've been so afraid. So afraid to face their fear of rejection is a big thing, right? But the universe is saying you have to face this fear anyway. And so, you know, a lot of these masculines kept pulling back. And they've been afraid to take any type of action. And so as the feminine forges forward with her courage and her strength, I do feel there is a new beginning that awaits the twins. But the masculine is going to have to experience a lot of chaos and turmoil in order to go through this activation. And so I do feel a lot of upheaval, a lot of disruptions. And they are being asked to be courageous. They're going to have to make a decision. They're going to have to act on this decision. And I do feel a lot of the masculines are likely struggling with some type of employment issues as well. I feel this new beginning will offer hope and renewal, but the masculine is going to have to honor the divine feminine, which he has not done. He's going to have to embrace this spiritual transition in his life. So what I want to say is get ready for some big changes ahead. Things have been so slow to move. Things have been kind of like incubating for years. And I do feel there is profound transformation ahead, but the masculine is going to have to take a risk. The masculine is going to have to take a risk because the feminine is going to keep going with or without him. And I do feel the masculine is needing to get prepared for a week of major upheavals, fluctuations, and the end result really will be glorious. So let's jump in with some tarot. As you can see, I've put most of my cards away to make room for Christmas. So look at that. The Strength reversed, the 10 of Cups in reversed. And this is kind of where the masculine's been at. All up in his ego, in a situation, pretending to be happy when there is no joy or happiness there. And I think, you know, holding back communication with the divine feminine, holding back that love. And so I do feel a lot of the feminines are just at their breaking point. So with the Ten of Cups reversed, the Four of Cups reversed, we do have a Six of Cups there coming through. And so a lot of memories, I feel, a lot of memories coming forward this week for the masculine to flow through. And this is likely why many of the feminines are feeling like they're at this standstill. To be still as the masculine goes through this activation. So we're going to do 9 cards. And we're going to see what else needs to come through for the twins for the week ahead. So a week of activations, Page of Pentacles, brand new fresh energy, Ten of Swords reversed. So that clean slate cannot come through without acknowledging the betrayal from the past and walking away from the damage and never looking back. Withholding communication, dead central energy, the Queen of Pentacles. So I feel this is likely going to play out into Capricorn season. We got the Queen of Cups, the Nine of Cups in reverse, the Page of Swords, a light bulb moment perhaps, and the Four of Swords. So fours are all about foundations, and I do feel the masculine's been drowning in a sea of emotions. The feminine was like this beautiful magical mermaid to the divine masculine. And he's really blocked off his heart from feeling these emotions. He's really blocked off his heart when it comes to accepting the pain of the loss of the feminine. A lot of these masculines are sitting in a world of regret. They're deeply hurting. They've been blocking just how much they have been struggling. And I do feel they've been hiding just how much pain they've been in from everybody around them. And I do feel the divine is just in the masculine's mind constantly. And a lot of these masculines, you know, they had a double life. In one breath, they were loyal in the karmic contract, all while being this lone wolf and really not committed to anybody other than self-gain, right? They were only committed really to what was best for them, and they didn't care who they hurt. And so I do feel a lot of these masculines are deep within some regret. I feel they've been holding on to something that's definitely not their wish fulfillment, which has prevented them from bringing forward a new offer. I also feel some type of light bulb moment when it comes to sending some communication. But I do feel addictions really have held the masculine back. I also feel a lot of these masculines were dealing with 2 different women, or switch it around, doesn't have to be gender specific. But the masculine's in this energy of healing. The feminine and the masculine have this cord connecting them forever in the heart space. And so I feel a lot of the feminines have been in this nesting energy. If you look at this woman up close on the card, she's got bruises all over her arms. She's battered and bruised in the fetal position. And so I feel healing a lot of childhood trauma. And I do feel the feminine is on the masculine's mind. I also feel the karmic is knee-deep in her emotions as well. This could ultimately lead to a job loss for the masculine because of these addictions, because of this toxicity that they've been playing into. I feel a lot of the masculines are drowning in a very toxic energy. They've been a puppet on everybody's strings. They've been a slave to something very toxic. And I do feel this very much could lead to a job loss of some sort. So I do want to look a little bit deeper into the Queen of Pentacles, because the masculines thought they could go off and have this new beginning and walk away from all of the betrayal that they left behind. And ultimately, they're getting blocked at every turn. We get the Three of Cups in reverse, or it was almost reverse, kind of sideways. So still holding on to that third party, right? And I do feel a lot of the karmics have a couple of female friends that are gossiping, slandering, and then we get the Five of Swords that came out. And so there's been a lot of manipulation surrounding the feminine. There's been a lot of trash talking of the feminine, I feel, from the third party, from that social circle, and a lot of self-deception. Something very toxic playing out in the masculine's life. But I do feel ultimately he's going to have to climb that ladder towards success. The divine is saying it's time to rise above and to break these chains once and for all. To break free from the gossip. I do feel like the masculine's head just hurts with all of this truth that is washing over him about the divine feminine. I'm going to grab my coffee, guys. Oh, my house is just a freaking mess. I got Christmas stuff everywhere. But I do feel a lot of the karmics feel like they are the ones that deserve a spot in the masculine's life. And they're deep in their emotions too right now. And so I feel like its spirit is just haunting the masculine in the mind space over this third party interaction. And I feel a lot of entanglements coming to a dead stop. I do feel the masculine will be quickly departing that false contract because it's run stale, it's run stagnant, and he will be heading straight towards the divine feminine who's been waiting for this truth for a very long time. So let's look into this Queen of Cups. The masculine's really not coming through too much in this reading. So Seven of Swords reversed. King of Wands, Six of Cups. And so a lot of these karmics have been holding on because of the memories. They've been manipulating the masculine when it comes to loyalty. I do feel some type of secret is going to be coming out or exposure that will be able to break the masculine free from this trauma bond of some sort in order to take action, to leave this very codependent situation behind. We've got a Queen of Cups here that does not know her worth, does not know her value, is not very nurturing, uses manipulation as a form to control the masculine into being loyal. And there's fear of being alone. The karmic definitely fears being alone because she has no self-worth and no self-value. But ultimately, I feel the masculine is getting ready to deliver a message that the karmic does not want to hear. He knows it's time to take action, to release a situation where quite possibly there was some type of cheating as well, is kind of what I'm feeling. So let's take a look at what this message entails. Yeah, an apology. And the masculine is deathly afraid of rejection. And I think that's where the feminine's at. When pigs fucking fly, will I ever hear from that bastard again? It's kind of where I'm at, right? When pigs fly. And I think get ready for pigs to fly is what I want to say. The masculine is stressed, going through some type of rebirth, some type of transformation. And he's coming in with something very honest to say to you, and I think this is going to be like a big time tower. When pigs fly. That's kind of what I got, right? When pigs fly. So right now the masculine's kind of still hiding and lurking in the shadows, going through this transformation process. Everything in his life is coming to a dead stop for the injustice towards the feminine. So I think get ready for a brand new opportunity to begin anew. We've planted these seeds. They've been growing without us even realizing it. The universe is handing a gift forward, and we are stepping into brighter times, although it does not feel like that. And so I do feel the masculine is getting ready to come out of hiding, to come out of introspection in order for this alchemical marriage to take place. So we're just going to get a couple last messages with the Twin Flame Oracle deck, and that's going to be it for this week, guys. So there's still some negative karmic attachments and cords that need to be cut if we are to start anew with love. And we are to remember that this love is eternal. So I do feel there will be happy news on the way, Divine Feminine. The masculine is going through a period of twin flame recognition, and I do feel he is deeply struggling in the separation. So very soon, I do think forward motion. Very soon, forward motion. And so Divine Feminine, you really need to trust in your own intuition, because these gateways, these major shifts are happening. And I do feel, get ready to receive some type of communication as the masculine comes out of this metamorphosis, this deep process of transformation. And there will be a fated, imminent meeting coming up here as we ascend all of these old limitations. So forgiveness. Forgiveness is a big one here. Pause. Ask yourself, are you fully ready to see the innocence in this whole situation of everyone involved? Can you reach a level of forgiveness? Can you take a break, take a pause, take a step back, replenish your reserves, align with positivity again? Because I do feel we are drawing closer as all of these major shifts push the masculine to connect in the heart space. And that's kind of what I've got today, guys. I hope this helped. I hope this resonated. If you would like to book a personal or a twin soul reading with me, check out that description box below, guys. And I do look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you.